Hey there, YouTube, Veganomix here. So today in our Spanish lesson, we're talking about conversation, basic conversation, and basic phrases in Spanish. So let's get started. All right. So to begin talking to someone, obviously, we all know hola, hola, right? But if it's daytime, if it's morning, you would say buenos días. All right. So here we have hola. Remember that H is silent. Hola, buenos días. Alright, so if I were to say hola, buenos días, how would you respond to that?
Hola, buenos días.
Now, if it's afternoon, so after 12 o'clock noon, you would say buenas tardes. Okay. Alright, so we have hola, buenos días. This is for morning. Buenas tardes would be for good afternoon, right? But I've noticed, it's just like in English. We say good morning when it's before noon. We say good afternoon, or how you doing, you know? Hola, buenos días. Hola, buenas tardes. Okay? Now there's one more that we say, and that's at nighttime. And it's usually after 8 o'clock, definitely when it's dark outside. And it can also kind of mean, like, have a good night. Or not have a good night, but good night. Like, we'll see you, good night. It's for like, sort of a farewell. And that is buenas noches. Right, so, hola, buenos días, buenas tardes, buenas noches. I mean, if you were to meet someone for the first time at like 11 o'clock at night, you would probably say buenas noches. Buenas noches, ¿cómo estás? Something like that. But this is generally when you're kind of bidding farewell to someone. Now, how do we say, how's it going? Or how are you? That's usually what people want to know, you know? How do I say, how are you? Most people know this, ¿cómo estás? Right? ¿Cómo estás? Okay, so for anyone that's not aware, in Spanish we have an upside down question mark to begin the question and a regular question mark to end it. This lets you know that you're going to be asking a question. So we have hola, buenos días, buenas tardes, buenas noches, ¿cómo estás? Okay, you wouldn't say these all just like I did, but you would say ¿cómo estás? And then the person would respond. How would they respond?
Bien, ¿y tú?
Mm-hmm. So you would say, ¿Cómo estás? You could say, bien, y tú? You could say, estoy bien, y tú? Estoy bien would be like, I'm fine. This is like, bien. This is like, fine, and you? So, literally, how are you? Okay? And I forgot this little accent mark there. Okay, so, ¿cómo estás? Bien, ¿y tú? So if someone asks you, ¿Cómo estás? You could say, bien, ¿y tú? And then they'll say, bien, or they'll say, mal, or más o menos, right? So, okay, so mal, of course, means bad. So I'm not doing so hot. I'm doing pretty poorly. Or más o menos is like, more or less. That's literally what it means, more or less. It's kind of like, I'm okay. Could be doing better, though. You could also say, ¿Cómo te va? Which means, how's it going? Like, literally, how's it going for you? You know? ¿Cómo te va? So, ¿cómo, how, is it going? Literally, te has to do with you. So, how's it going for you? Or like, how does it pass you? How does it go? How's it going? Basically, how's it going, but this implies the you, right? So if you're talking, this is all tú informal you, right? ¿Cómo estás? If you wanted to say, how are you to someone important or someone that you respect a little more, you might say, ¿Cómo está usted? I think we already went over that in another video. So you would say, ¿Cómo le va a usted? ¿Cómo le va? Okay, you wouldn't say, ¿Cómo te va? If you're using usted. Okay. Another way to respond, you don't just say bien, y tú, you could say muy bien, okay? Or you could say no muy bien. Muy bien is like very well. No muy bien would be like not very well. Okay, so we have ¿Cómo te va? Muy bien o no muy bien. And then here you could also say no muy bien or muy bien, and you could add a thank you at the end. Say gracias. Right, we know in Spanish, gracias means, and I'm running out of room, gracias. Okay. All right, now somewhere in your conversation, you're going to ask the person what their name is. Okay, so if you're talking again with the tú, the informal, like friendly, you would say "¿Cómo te llamas?" Right? So we have "¿Cómo?" Remember, don't forget your upside down question mark. ¿Cómo te llamas? Okay, the double L in Spanish sounds like a Y or like a J. ¿Cómo te llamas? ¿Cómo te llamas? Right? O ¿cómo te llamas if you're from Argentina? ¿Cómo te llamas? Okay. And then to answer this, you would say me llamo, whatever your name is, right? So my name is David. I'm going to say me llamo David. ¿Cómo te llamas? How do you call yourself? Literally. This is called a reflexive verb. ¿Cómo te llamas? How do you call yourself? And then you would say, I call myself David. Okay. Yeah, if I'm interested in the other person, so ¿Cómo te llamas? They ask me, and I say me llamo David. Y tú, I would say and you, and the other person says me llamo Roxana, me llamo Carolina, no sé, me llamo Gabriel. I don't know. Okay, now when you want to say that it's nice to meet you, we say mucho gusto, right? Mucho gusto, all right? And you could say mucho gusto. You could say un placer conocerte. Es un placer conocerte. It's a pleasure to meet you. You could say encantado, which sounds a little weird to me, but if you're a girl, you might say encantado, encantada, which is enchanted. Mucho gusto, un placer conocerte, encantado. Okay, now the other person that's going to respond would say igualmente, right? They would say igualmente, which means likewise. So, mucho gusto, Roxana, en conocerte. Igualmente, David. Igualmente. Okay, so if I were to actually have a conversation, it would be something like this. Hola, buenos días.
Hola, buenos días.
¿Cómo estás?
Muy bien, ¿y tú?
Estoy muy bien, gracias. ¿Cómo te llamas?
Me llamo Roxana. ¿Y tú?
Me llamo David. Mucho gusto.
Encantada en conocerte.
Now, at this point in the conversation, you might want to ask the person where they're from, if it's maybe a touristy spot or something, and you know they're not locals or something. So you would say, ¿De dónde eres?
¿De dónde eres?
¿De dónde eres? And how would a person respond to that?
Soy de Venezuela. ¿Y tú?
Okay, so it says, Soy de Venezuela y tú. So this is the question part. Soy de Venezuela. I am from Venezuela. So if you could change this to anything you want, right? So she says, Soy de Venezuela. I am from Venezuela. Y tú and you. So this is my reaction. Soy de Estados Unidos. I'm from the US. Soy de Estados Unidos. And this is how they abbreviate United States. EEUU. Soy de Estados Unidos. Okay, I am from the US. And if you wanted to, you could even get more specific and say, Soy de whatever state you're from, right? So I'm from Illinois, so I would say, Soy de Illinois. Or Illinois. So a lot of times, we're not from the places that we're actually living in. So how do you say, where do you live? Well, I would say, ¿Dónde vives? ¿Dónde vives? And then the person could respond, Vivo, I live, vivo en Florida. Okay, vivo en la Florida. I live in Florida. Okay. I live in Kentucky. Vivo en Kentucky. I live in Illinois. Vivo en Illinois. I live in Costa Rica. Vivo en Costa Rica. I live in Venezuela. Vivo en Venezuela. Okay? You just can basically change this out. But vivo en means I live in. ¿Dónde vives? Where do you live? Vivo en Florida. Now, if you're not starting to pick up this trend, you should. ¿Dónde vives? Vivo en Florida. y tú, and you. So the other person would say, wherever they live. Vivo en Mexico. Could be. Vivo en Mexico. So now the next one isn't very common for people that are, I feel like they're older, but if there's a younger person involved, it might be more common. How do you ask someone how old they are? I think we went over this, but I'll go over it again. So you might say, if you're asking someone how old they are, you would say, ¿Cuántos años tienes? So then if I answered this, if someone asked me, ¿Cuántos años tienes? I would say, yo tengo 26 años, 26. I have 26 years. I am 26 years old, right? Tengo 26 años. So tengo is the yo form, and if you want to, you could even say yo. This is just the pronoun I. But in Spanish, you don't have to say I at the beginning of things because the verb just is conjugated already. So tengo is a form of the verb tener. I'm not going to write it down, but yo tengo 26 años. Okay? ¿Cuántos años tienes? Yo tengo 26 años. And of course, we could end saying y tú. And the person would say, the other person could say, yo tengo 34 años. I'm 34 years old. All right, now how do you say goodbye to someone? There's so many different ways you can say goodbye to someone in English too. See you later. See you tomorrow. Until we meet again. Goodbye. Ciao. Blah, blah. All these different things. So let's go over them in Spanish. All right, so if you know you're going to be seeing someone later on in the day, you could say hasta luego. Or if you're going to see them soon, hasta luego. You could say hasta mañana. See you tomorrow. Hasta whatever. You could say hasta pronto, which means see you soon. Nos vemos is like we'll see each other. See you later. We'll see each other. Adios, goodbye. And ciao is ciao. Okay? So there we go. Hasta luego, hasta mañana, hasta pronto, nos vemos, adios, ciao. Okay? And then, so if I say, hasta luego, Roxana, she could say, hasta mañana, David. Or hasta pronto, David. Adios, David. She could say any one of those that she wanted, as long as it fits. Right, so I hope this video might be long, but I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope it helped you. Take care.